Hi, thank you for coming today. I'd like to talk about our activities, DevOps in Rakuten Travel. In former part, talking about our Kaizen story in last year. And latter part, Shinoda talks about current and future DevOps in Rakuten Travel. Okay, let's move to my presentation. At first, let me introduce myself. I'm Naoi as a group manager of development group for Rakuten Travel. My group develops the hotel management system, business trip booking site, and multi-language site for all over the world. And also, I'm working to improve the development environments and processes. Today, I'd like to talk about these activities of last year. And he's Hiro. He's my ex-coworker and my friend. To be honest, he made this slide. Thanks, Hiro. Okay, let's begin. In this presentation, I'm going to introduce about the success case of DevOps in our department. These are 4 themes in my presentation. First, project metrics. Second, the importance of strategy formulation. Third, the benefit of infrastructure as code. And fourth, technology-driven development. Especially, today I'd like to talk about the importance of project metrics to succeed DevOps. Here is the agenda. First, what challenges we met at that time. And second, thinking about what should we show as accomplishments by using project metrics. Third, I explained the detail of our action to reduce the load of CI server. Fourth, after we succeeded, we need to educate members and teams. At last, conclusion of this presentation. First, what challenges we met at that time? Troubles suddenly attacked us. We couldn't deliver any products on time due to the overload of CI server. If we added jobs more, CI server would stop and we could not provide any services because we have to build and do testing in CI server before delivering production services. It's one of the important rules of our department. So if we did not use CI server, we cannot deliver any services. But at that time, Hiro, he was working for making automation testing and managing QA of one big project. And I was developing new multi-language system with managing other projects, so we did not have any responsibilities for the management of CI server. However, we stood up to solve these troubles for all developers of Rakuten Travel. Our department has over 100 engineers. In big organization, the necessary tasks sometimes drop in white space. In my point of view, it's very important to do tasks in white space. At first, you may begin to work for it voluntarily, but you should change the voluntary tasks to assigned. Sorry. Okay. Because we don't work for only voluntary, but raise up our evaluation and salary. And I think the engineers who can deal with these kind of improvement tasks got recognition. It's very important things to succeed DevOps in your organization. Anyway, I'm going to explain about the detail of travel. Jenkins was very slow because it was standalone server and over 400 jobs were running, but nobody maintained. And load average became over 10, also waiting queue became over 10. So we often could not open dashboard of Jenkins, especially we could not use the script console at all. It was very, very terrible situation. So we investigated the root cause at first. It was no dedicated team for CI server that could work for our department totally. And all operations were supported by voluntary engineers. So, if they were busy and not to have time to operate, no one could find the Jenkins trouble. And what is worse, no monitoring mechanism in CI server. Our first action for these problems was to propose to organize new dedicated and cross-functional team for that. The team can solve the overload with long-term and comprehensive view and have the responsibility to define the vision of CI server and achieve it. To avoid business loss anymore, it was required to solve problems rationally. Finally, Jenkins consolidation team was started. This is a joking image. Actually, I proposed that to my boss and got his approval without drinking. Next, what should we show as accomplishments? We are thinking about, as a business, we needed to show managers and stakeholders our progress and to make them happy. However, we did not know what and how should we show as a result of improving CI server at all. We needed to inspect and adapt continuously through these activities because this project was totally new exploration for us. So we decided to use project metrics to find the numerical numbers which can show managers and stakeholders our progress easily, especially to look for the numerical numbers which you can observe the transition, to track them periodically and focus on the transition before and after actions, to always review the effect of them and improve them if we need it. For making project metrics, we clarified our mission, basic strategy, and roadmap. The important point to clarify them, to define them that almost all members and stakeholders can agree on, not only application engineers, but also all members, such as server engineers. And to define them not only from engineer's view, we also should think about the business value and to make measure sustainable. Regarding basic strategy, to reduce the load of CI server at first, we had to solve it as soon as possible due to the reason I mentioned. Next, to solve the bottleneck of CI server and to educate how to use them properly. At last, to take over this project to younger engineers. This is a roadmap. We try to achieve this project in the latter half of 2014. Then, we went to next stage to make project metrics. There are proposals of project metrics, reduction of system troubles, status of infrastructure preparation, and effect of master-slave adoption, status of inquisition, and information overload. After making project metrics, we started to deal with this project. Next, I'd like to explain in detail about how could we reduce the load of CI server. We had to reduce the load as soon as possible because we could not use Jenkins and ship any services. The action is, at first, we added servers simply to scale out. We added 4 servers and moved slow jobs to new servers to reduce the load of main machine. Then we could avoid the troubles and go to next step. Next, we try to adapt master-slave architecture. We implemented the role of master to main server and ran jobs concurrently with 4 slaves. And also, we added the monitoring mechanism. At last, we adapted infrastructure as code by using Chef and Docker. The configuration file was synchronized slaves with master. We can always recover all environment due to immutability by Docker. And Chef's recipe is very easy to understand for application engineers. The reason why we use Docker is to reduce operation time by server engineer if someone broke this environment. And about Chef, we have same reason as Docker case, and also recipe can support good communication between application engineers and server engineers. It's a very important merit, I think. As a result, we could achieve it earlier than we planned because there are some reasons. The one is my negotiation to other team, and the other is the good performance by younger engineer of Jenkins team and the infrastructure team. After these operations, we achieved to reduce loads. We could see the result by the transition of alert emails, which we set as project metrics. We decreased over 50% alert emails. We could find high load and solve it immediately. Sometimes load was still high, but troubles did not occur again. Sorry. Especially, we could decrease the operation cost by infrastructure as code. Before our activity, only infrastructure team could operate in CI server. So we spent about 1 week to wait that operation was completed. After that, it spent only 30 minutes. Chef's recipe can decrease miscommunications between infrastructure team and application developers because it's very simple and easy to understand. Of course, there is no human error because all operations run automatically along the recipe. And also, we use Docker so that we could recover anytime if troubles happened. For example, before our activity, the developers want to start and stop Tomcat, but they request to change permission of startup.sh only. Of course, operators did not change shutdown.sh and owner groups because they did not receive any requests for that. Through this kind of conversation, the developers did not trust operation. On the other hand, infrastructure team's operators felt it was very difficult to understand developers' demands, so they needed tons of conversation and waste their time. Actually, we spent much time to communicate. At first, let's eliminate this kind of process by using infrastructure as code. After our activity, the developers can do testing easily, save all codes as recipes and test codes, and reduce confirmation time to use Git pull request for review. And operators feel developers' request is simple and can operate very easily. Again, it's very important to adapt infrastructure as code. Actually, we spent 1 month to do that, but it's very profitable to decrease operation costs. After we achieved to reduce load of master server, we could try additional improvements. We could use script console again and gather these detailed information. We could have time to improve because we did not spend any time to operate for high load problem. For example, improving the contents of alert email and investigating high load jobs. We were able to measure in more detail project metrics. Like that. For example, regarding alert emails, at first information was verbose and not easy to understand because an engineer made it and only he used it. Everyone beside him could not understand it, and we could not identify the job names that caused the overload because there were no job names in this email. First step, we focus on only load average and memory usage, and we showed user and job name clearly. But in this time, we could not see important information easily because they were on the bottom of the email. So we moved the important information to the top of the email. For only this modification, we could find problems easily and solve it faster. Finally, we could find slow jobs which were needed to solve. This example is very easy and simple, but I think almost all improvements are created from such as many smaller things. How to make and operate the project metrics. Gathering and measuring information gradually. You don't need to measure everything. It's okay to do what you can do. As I mentioned, we started to focus on load average and added metrics gradually. All information is not necessarily useful. You should measure only useful metrics. Need to review and improve the project metrics continuously. We also held a retrospective meeting to review our metrics. Lastly, it's very important thing. Unexpected things often occur, but it's okay. Take it easy. We have succeeded dramatically. Next, after our success, we had to think about how could we nurture members and teams. In the end of September 2014, the additional task came to us. Our department set a goal to achieve over 65% of unit testing line coverage for all products in 2014, but we did not have any plan to achieve the target at that time. So we decided to add it to our goal. Same as Jenkins problem, we clarified the issue at first. There were lack of a mechanism to measure the target. The developers chose different tool and measured per each times. The developers who lead this activity was not enough. On the other hand, Jenkins activity was going well at the same time. We could always confirm the status easily, and engineers who had curiosity of Jenkins was increasing and increasing. So we could use Jenkins to achieve the target of unit testing coverage. At first, we made a dashboard to show everyone current status. We chose Cobertura for almost all Java applications and Jacoco for other applications. Next, by using this dashboard, we reported the progress weekly. Especially, we reported weekly basis comparison to motivate to achieve our target. And we organized new team called 65% team to achieve the goal. I assigned developers who has curiosity of Jenkins activity and aim to achieve the goal effectively. It seems that it was going well. This graph shows the improvement unit testing coverage by 65% team. We could improve the achievement ratio from 16.7% products to 84.1% products. This improvement indicates growth of the 65% team. Finally, we could achieve almost all targets. At last, conclusion. We achieved to deliver all products on time and prevent recurrence of delay. To scale up CI servers and make master-slave architecture, now over 600 jobs are running. To turn over tasks to young members and nurture them. This is the planned roadmap, and this is the actual. We could finish first task early and spend much time to educate. But we still had some issues at that time. But now, we can organize new team for these issues. Automation testing case is increasing, and we started to improve testing environment. And we started to use Ansible and its playbook created by release automation team. After that, we are going to think about blue-green deployment and CD. The point of project metrics. Find useful information to think over. Focus on the transition of numerical number. Review and improve them continuously. And use them as a way of communication. Everything will start from measurement. Electrify your team by using today's knowledge. Special thanks to Hiro. If you have any question, feel free to contact me. Thank you very much. And next is current and future DevOps in Rakuten Travel from Shinoda.
Okay, thank you, Nai-san. This is my turn, and Nai-san talks share team and dev team side story. So I will talk about infra side story and CSOps. Okay. First, background and of DevOps and of story. So let me introduce myself. My name is Takeshi Shinoda, from Travel Infrastructure Group. I had been a Java or software engineer for 7 years and moved to infra side last year. Why? So I will talk to you later. And also, I work for improving CI or visualization task with Naoisen and DevOps members. So here is the slide of last year's conference, Rakuten Travel presentation. So we our goal is this year, 2015, is 24/5 development and TRIP and DevOps. TRIP means DC migration project from our Travel own DC to Rakuten Group DC. But it's a very huge story, and unfortunately, I don't have enough time to talk with this, so I'll focus the third one, DevOps. So currently our DevOps is still growing level and not adapt latest technology, but I will talk about the actual scene of DevOps or SysOps as an engineer side. So here's our sorry, ちょっと見にくい。our organization chart, and we have about 15 dev team and 100 dev people and 10 infra people and 10 ops leads. So as Nelson mentioned, 65% team. So by the way, how many guys in charge of infra side? No one. Dev side? Ops side? Okay, thank you. And so next is between dev and infra. These are issues among infra, also infra team and dev team. So we have many operations light blue tasks. So production release or troubleshooting and manage configuration or monitoring. And it's of course it's a very important thing, but not our properly work. So coding for dev team or system design for infra team. And sometimes operation work range is duplicated, and our each team made own original script or tools. And I felt invisible barriers between dev and infra, and this stuffs in among infra side. So now some mentioned, we have many operation requests and conflict and some troubles because locational, organizational, and roles difference. And this is our previous model of server members task in charge. So we adapt products in charge. It means server team have 6 engineers, and pair of engineers uh, have responsibility of each dev team server's host. It's made strong connectivity, and but on the other hand, it's made task or knowledge deviation. It's a problem. And I told we have some barriers, but these are kind of true. Recently, this kind of border between dev and ops and sys is very ambiguous, getting ambiguous, and everyone can easy to deploy or easy to get environment, and beyond the border easily. And actually, we adapt these kind of tools. And sorry, excuse me. Let me introduce myself again. Left side organization chart is a little different because it's last year's organization chart. So I was in dev side. I have been in dev side since last year, and as an engineer lead or scrum master in projects, and also belong the DevOps committee to manage Jenkins or to design, staging, or testing environment, and communication improvement team. Then I last year I moved to infra side because now as I mentioned, dev teams CRI is getting well and going well, and we have DC migration project, and after that, after DC migration project, our task or operation style would be changed dramatically. So I wanted to move to infra side and improve infra side operation. And now I'm working for as a server or ops engineer and support infra team lead and develop inter tools with dev team requirement. So first of all, I started to work from communication or process issues in dev team. So adapt scrums same as dev team, and so adapt some KGIs or metrics, and after that, making your support tools with dev team. So dev team had adapted Scrum since 3 or 4 years ago, but infra team had not yet. But first improvement was not adapting Scrum. First task is visualize our tasks and break down hurdle of communication with dev team. And we made a new HTML request form to make a request to our team from dev, and visible the workflow, bottleneck, ticket status, uh, so approval, ticket approval status, and sorry. Yes, with Jira, it's called Agile tool by Atlassian. And we quit so products in charge, as I mentioned just a minute ago. And infra lead assign tasks with current real situation. So watch workload or ticket status, and we hold YTV in morning huddle meeting, and many sharing meeting. So it made it easy to know other members' status and less task or knowledge deviation, as I mentioned previously. And it was very helpful, especially for me, because I was newbie for infra team. And previously, we have some monthly indicator, KPI, KGI, and first we adapt burnout chart, but it didn't work well because how to estimate the each ticket, and cannot fix sprint tasks due to many requests from dev team. So we adapt to new key goal indicators, workload goal, velocity by story point, and others. So define KDI and daily feedback for not only team but individual, and weekly sprint feedback for team. And we made some tools to evaluate the KGI. And after improved some communications and the operation process getting well. So we started to make new interface with dev team requirement. So that's configuration structure, for example, hardware, network resource, and OS or middleware or Apache Tomcat information. So get dev team or infra team get server configuration without logging to production servers, and visualize or manage servers configuration. So important thing is decrease opportunity to log in on production servers, and not prohibit, but make another method for customers. I guess you have same such kind of problem when studied Agile. We have some problem, but originally we have same goals for travel service, enhanced travel service, and our communication are getting well. And I think it's just a custom, but take a few months. Actually, took 2 or 3 months for us. And next is change. So while doing that, we completely migrate our data center, Rakuten Travel DC to Rakuten Group DC, and close Osaka, our DC. So as a result, infra costs down to 1/3, and the VM ratio up to 86% to use Rakuten private cloud, Rakuten platform, Rakuten Group platform. It's very efficient, and our working style has dramatically changed. So if you remember to link to offside, because so bottom of this chart, DC or hardware network OS layer task took over to other Rakuten system platform group, and we focus the upper layer with middleware and the application side, and strongly shift to improve CI or automation, include application deployment. And so if we should be changed for infra members, server members. So as left chat, server members carriers, of course, link to hardware network side. And only I have team development experience. And so blue is previous skill set for server engineers, but we have to go to red sides. So for example, programming skills, system design skills, and shared skills. Due to deploy application first. Yes, it's actual our previous operation style. So right side chat, so top of circle. So dev team have a new server construction request, and we make a operation procedure from template file and pass to dev team, and dev team deploy application. But sometimes new additional requests is coming, and infra or server members made procedure again to make some directory or symbolic link or something. And after that, extract common process and scripting, and make a template for next procedure. So for example, for line, so number 47, so for example, install JDK is a script by install JDK itself. But it has problem. And the left side black box shows previous our operation repository construction. We have construction procedure directory and operation procedure directory by mmdd host name and what to do, and script directory and templates directory to make new operation procedure. And we combined some scripts and to make operation procedure, but it's not totally scripting. Sorry, it's this scripting is not totally improvement, but partially, and we had to learn new things every time. So this kind of share option or configuration specification, what is? And so problem is third one. We made through procedure because create from template. And the server construction phase and the existing server update phase have new, different procedure. And as you may know, share script by another person is very mysterious and no portability or no test. So we decided to integrate procedure process to chef to your chef. So we adapt chef for our system always, all case. Actually, our system is mutable, not immutable. Immutable is there, but not here. Immutable special infrastructure is not coming for us. And I think chef is not suited for mutable system. And as Naosan mentioned, dev team use Ansible actually to deploy application. But we decide to use chef all case, all situation, and confine, enclose the server configuration to chef node attributes file for each host. And so adapt mutable and immutable system and integrate create procedure and existing server update procedure. Yes. So yes, Roman was not built in a day. Our we server engineers learn and are learning many things every day. For example, object-oriented programming and 2 years OSS, and sometimes front-end side to improve communications, and also of course testing and branch management by Git. And so our test framework or static analytics tools is always angry. Especially learn to Git branch management is very difficult for us and very confused. So for example, someone also can sometimes commit by root user. I don't know why, and undeleted commit comment. So for example, mod. What happened? And conflicted file push to master and or test file. But we resolved these issues for always reviewed among all server members, 6 people, and many hands-on sessions, and everyone write document for teams. And we built test platform using expand previous also mentioned CA servers, and using Jenkins and Docker, and always test chef code and get feedback earlier. It's not so difficult for us because we took advantage of OS or middleware layer because we are infra engineers. And also get report notification when built or test file. We can get feedback earlier. As a result, a junior engineer who has 1.5 years engineer experience manage almost requests from dev side. And we now we able to focus design automated system or immutable infrastructure system and accelerate operation zero, and one process including QA test side and dev side. As its conclusion, so not aim for the perfect is better because next innovation or next plan from boss will be coming before achievement. And the innovation happens when rule is broken. And it is important to follow metrics or KGIs. And I have nothing to say for that. This is very important. But we got more relief to write test code by ourselves. And we prefer one pizza, not two pizza, for one repository because get a conscious immediately, and always we discuss about our issues immediately. And to be a programmer is important, so having common language with dev team, be able to take with same context. It's down the hurdle of communications. And not only use OSS and customize these not such kind of great tools, and learn the origin purpose of OSS is important to get the hint to next our future. Finally, we are hiring DevOps members and procedures as software engineers because our DevOps has just started in getting well now, and to prepare to the Olympic Games and against innovative travel new travel service, for example, Airbnb or Uber or something. Uh, so if you have a passion for DevOps or travel service, please don't hesitate to connect us. Okay, thank you for attention. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you. If you guys have any questions, raise your hand. Nice かね。はい。
Thank you for presentation. And I have one question. Uh, what reason to use Jenkins or compare with other products, CI Server and Circle CI or ChiMCD and so on? So what's benefit? What is the best? じゃないな。What is the ちょっと久しぶりに英語を喋ると、What is the なんだろうな。Most important things is to use decided the Jenkins.
And actually, I remember one engineer want to use Jenkins. So in our department, in our department, some engineer who had curiosity of many language or many system or many tools, maybe he proposed us managers to use it, and we always, oh, it's okay, but please feedback to us and expand to our department. So maybe in Jenkins case, it was same as this case. So one guys, maybe I think you you want to use Jenkins, and maybe when you worked as a developer. So yes, so we decided to use Jenkins and expand it. Any other questions?
Thank you very much. In my understanding, we cannot manage the Jenkins configuration or settings or scripts in a code management system like that. How do you manage the Jenkins settings or like that? Do you have any practice?
Of course, we manage Jenkins configuration and in Git repository. So Docker file and some Python file, Docker file and some Python file and chef script, chef recipe. And not only Jenkins, but other, so not CI servers, we choose Chef and mainly chef recipe.
That's for all from us. Thank you for coming.